So hello and welcome to the Lewis Nichols Show, and joining me today it's the brilliant Nathan Carter. How are you?
I'm very good, sir. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
No, thank you so much for coming on. So you must be excited now with kind of lockdown restrictions being eased in the sense of going out there, being able to perform and do what you love again.
Absolutely buzzing, to be honest. It's been 16, 17 months since myself and my band actually played a live gig in front of humans. So we're delighted. Yeah, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And thankfully, theatres across the country are starting to open up in the next few weeks. And, it wasn't just musicians that kind of suffered over the last while. It's been sound engineers, lighting engineers, crew, truck drivers, managers, promoters. There's so many people been affected by the music industry being closed basically for so long. So listen, it's great, really good news and all positive.
And so going back to kind of the very beginning for you when you were growing up, where did your love and your passion for music actually come from? Did you kind of get that from your family? Because a lot of people grow up around music and then tend to fall in love with it.
Yeah, I was brought up in Liverpool and surrounded by Irish music. My family originated from Northern Ireland, so I was surrounded by music by the Dubliners and the Chieftains and the Clancys and loads of folk music. And my granddad kind of was the biggest influence of all. He loved the old country singers like Johnny Cash, Dolly Parton, Willie Nelson, Patsy Cline, all those old great singers. So I was the really odd kid at school, knowing all these Johnny Cash songs. And my friend next to me at school in maths is singing Eminem and I'm singing The Ring of Fire, so pretty weird, but love it. I've always loved that type of music and continue to sing it, and I've become very much involved in the country music world in Ireland and in the UK.
Well, you've had huge success in regards to chart success in Ireland as well. So when did you first hit the charts in Ireland, and how did it feel? Because that's such a big achievement to get your music to actually make it in the charts.
Yeah, especially whenever it's not pop, or if it's pop and indie, then it's mainstream. If I'm doing something slightly different, if it's folk or if it's country, then it's kind of very difficult to get it mainstream charted and on the mainstream radio stations. So in 2012, I recorded a cover of a Bob Dylan song called Wagon Wheel, and that ended up being a huge hit for me. It stayed in the top 10 for like 3 months in the Irish charts. Opened up a lot of doors. I ended up playing arenas and doing TV shows, and it just kind of escalated from there. Really, it was one of them songs that just turned everything around. So I owe a lot to Bob Dylan, and I think he's made a lot of money from it since, so he'll be happy. Yeah.
And because I know that in Ireland there's a lot of support with other musicians. You kind of all get together and support one another with music. So have you had any kind of the Irish legends reach out and get behind you and support your music? Because we've had people like Daniel O'Donnell on the show before. So are they aware of your music and support it?
Yeah, I've been very lucky. I've made a lot of friends throughout the industry through the years, and you mentioned Daniel there. He's been probably one of my number one supporters in helping me get my name out there. I went and toured America a couple of years ago, and he was on tour at the same time, and he used to bring me on stage each night and introduce me and say that I was playing a gig coming up, or he was really, really good mentor, that sort of way. And I found, a lot of people give out about the business, and there is a lot of sharks and a lot of crooks in the business, but a lot of people I've met have been very, very helpful, and have been lucky. I guess you're kind of lucky who you meet along the way, but I definitely have been lucky. The ones I've met have been very, very good to me.
And you can tell just from talking to you that your love and your passion for music just kind of comes from you when you're talking. So when you think about the venues that you've performed at, are there any in particular that stands out as one of the most special venues you performed at that give you fond memories?
There's a few, yeah. I'd say the one I get the biggest thrill of all, though, is playing the London Palladium. I've managed to sell it out 3 times. We've played it 4 times in total, and we're back there next year in February. So you know, I don't know if you've been the Palladium backstage yourself, but it's crazy. It's, you know, you'll see on the wall who've played, from Tom Jones to Dolly to Johnny Cash to the Beatles to Bruce Springsteen. It's just literally the who's who of everybody, no matter what type of music you sing or play. And I suppose with the TV show being there for so many years, I seen it as a kid growing up, Sunday Night Live, and more recently in recent years. So that's probably the venue I get the most buzzed about whenever you're walking out on that stage, just because you know who's been there before you.
I can't believe how casual you were about selling out the London Palladium. I mean, I would be buzzing about that, but you just kind of, that was so casual. That's such an achievement. I mean, like you said, you've mentioned some of the biggest names in the industry have performed there, and here you are now selling it out on numerous occasions. I mean, what an achievement.
Yeah, to be honest, the fan base that it has grown with me over the last sort of 10 years since I started professionally, you know, they've been really, really good. Like, we see a lot of the same faces on the front row of a lot of gigs, you know, which is great. And I haven't seen them for so long. So I'm very lucky that it's a very loyal fan base, and couldn't have done it, couldn't do it without them, you know. So owe everything to the fans, really.
And what's next for you now? Because I know you, like many other people, have obviously been touched with the NHS and the work that they've been doing at the moment. And I know that you're actually, you've recorded a song, and the proceeds are going to the NHS. Is that right?
Yeah, going to the NHS and the Children's Hospital in Liverpool called Alder Hey. So basically, I decided to write this song last year because one of my best friends passed away, a guy called Nicky James. And I wrote this song to kind of really help me through the grief of it all, to be honest, and put it out online, did a video for it. Got a load of messages from people who were grieving themselves. They'd lost, you know, family or a best friend or whatever, and they heard the song and just wrote to me saying how it helped them. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should do a bit more with the song. So I said, we should definitely do it as a charity single. And then I thought of Alder Hey, mainly because whenever our family have had a lot of dealings with Alder Hey through the years. My cousin was sick there in the hospital for a good few months as a kid with cancer. My second cousin passed away last year. She was a nurse there. So we've had a lot of dealings with the hospital. So I was like, you know what? The year and the 18 months that we've all had, I think we should, if we can raise any money at all through the power of this song and power of music, I think it's a good thing to do. So we launched the campaign last Friday, and it was on BBC One Northwest. On Monday night, they played the interview from the hospital, and they interviewed a couple of the nurses, and I went down and sang a few songs. It was really good fun. And so that's the plan. It's available to download, to stream. It was, as I say, it was written originally for my best friend, but if it can help anyone out there through the power of the music, then that's really good.
I mean, Nicky, he was a mentor to you as well. So you had this close bond. So for you as a songwriter, I know you mentioned it helped you with a grieving process, but there must be an element of nerves there, that you've put this together, and this is, you know, your feelings, your true emotion coming out on paper, and then you're putting it out there for everyone to listen to. That must be a nerve-wracking experience as well for you, because it's so personal to you.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, normally my music is quite upbeat and jolly and happy and good to dance to and all that stuff. So to go from that to writing about probably one of the most painful times of my life, and probably one of the most depressing, is quite difficult. It wasn't something that I was that used to doing, you know. So it was emotional to do it. And I haven't actually sang the song live that much at all, because we haven't been gigging. So, you know, I think I probably will get choked up whenever I start singing it live. But as I say, you know, we got so many messages from people that the song kind of helped. And if it's helping anyone at all, even one person, then that's, as a songwriter, you're doing something right, you know?
And I think as a songwriter and musician like yourself, it must be one of the most rewarding professions as well, because I know when people go through grief, very rarely is there anything that can help. You know, you're so low, you don't know what to do, but lyrics and music have the ability to just touch you in the most incredible way. It can make you think differently. It can just relate to you. And you've had the ability, like you said, to do that already. You've had people reaching out. So that must make you sit back and think, do you know what, I'm doing the right thing? All those years where maybe you might have thought, you know, it's not happening as quickly as I would have liked, or because I know it's tough to be a musician. It's not an easy ride. You have to work hard. So it must make it all worthwhile now when you look back at the hard times.
Definitely, yeah. As you say, music sometimes it's a lot easier for someone to listen to music and rather than actually someone speaking to them, you know. So the power of music is kind of weird in that way. But yeah, it's been a great journey so far, and been very lucky. People I've met along the way, and you know, hoping that the music career will keep on going for. It's been 10 or 11 years now since I started, so hopefully I'll get another 10 or 11 out of it, and just keep enjoying it as much as I can.
I mean, I first discovered you when John got in touch, and I remember checking out your music, and the voice is incredible, but you're so diverse in the different genres that you seem to just be able to record. Yet you make everything sound so modern, cool. You give it like a new age, and it's incredible what you do. It really is.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, to me, a lot of acts get pigeonholed to your pop or your rock or your, you know, classical or whatever. Whereas I like good songs, and if it's a good song and I like singing it, then I'll record it or do it live. So, and you know, the audience always makes up their mind if they like a song. If they don't, they generally you can tell within the first time you play it. So, so yeah, I do a couple of different genres, but it's mainly country and a bit of folk is the stuff that I love doing, you know, the most.
Well, you've got your new single out. We're going to play it on the show now. But what's next for you now? Because I guess you've got that burning desire to get out there, tour and perform. So can we expect a UK tour? Is that the next plan?
Yeah, that is the plan. From September onwards, we're all around England, Scotland, doing, as we mentioned, the London Palladium, Carlisle, the Sands, Liverpool, Phil, Manchester, Birmingham, literally all over, Leeds, you name it. We're playing it from now till the end of February. I think is the 26th of Feb is the Palladium, so that's kind of one of the last dates in the tour. So we're really excited to get the band back together, go and hopefully put a smile on a few people's faces out there and let them come and hear some live music, because we've all missed it. I know we have for the last 16 months. It's been too long.
And do your family come to watch your shows and support them?
Yeah, they do whenever they can. Yeah, my nan actually, before the pandemic, she was still touring with us. My nan sells all my merchandise at the front of the
wow.
Wherever we're gigging, she'll be there with the t-shirts and the CDs and everything. So she's actually more excited than I am to get back to it. To be honest, she's itching like mad. She's 81, still thinks she's 16, loves a good strong gin and tonic every night, and she's rock and roll. Yeah, she's proper rock and roll.
Do your family ever give you any criticism? So you've just performed a show and you think, do you know what, I've smashed that. And then you go backstage and they kind of critique it or say you've done that wrong or you could have done this better.
No, I'm lucky enough that none of the family are actually in the music game at all. My dad's a builder. My mum worked for the council. So they have not a clue about music. So they just leave me to it. And but to be honest, if anyone was going to critique myself, it would be me. I'm the worst critic possible. So they wouldn't need to say anything. I'd probably say it before them. Yeah.
And so you watch your stuff back and do you kind of go, oh no, I could have done that better?
Cringe.
Yeah.
Yes, all the time. All the time. Yeah.
So obviously, Liverpool accent. Are you a Liverpool Football Club supporter?
No, I actually am not. I'm very ashamed to say I don't follow football. I'm probably one of the only very few people from Liverpool that doesn't. But yeah, it was always music for me as a kid. And I remember my granddad saying, "Well, there's only one good thing." He says, "You won't get in trouble in interviews if you stay away from politics and religion and football. Generally, you can't go too wrong." So. Yeah.
That's the best advice. Well, do you know, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. It'd be great to get you in the Southwest to do a show, Cheltenham, Bristol, that kind of area, because we'd love to see you.
I'd love to. Yeah. Well, listen, hopefully this time next year we'll all be out of this madness and we'll be back gigging even more. So hopefully we'll see you up ahead some stage.
Well, we're going to get the songs going to be played on the show now. Thank you so much and good luck with it. I mean, the song is so raw, powerful. And obviously now we know the story and what it means to you. I think that will just connect with people in a whole different way. So thank you so much for sharing that with us today.
Really appreciate it. Listen, have a fantastic week and hopefully we'll see you soon. All the best.
Thank you.
Take care.